Plenty of decks and plenty of fun.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars Variety Hour. That's right, I have a name for it now. And I'm going to be playing your deck submissions from my 15,000 subscriber celebration. And this first deck we're playing today is Dina. You guys like to gain life? Because whenever you do, your opponent loses life, which is an infinite combo with a card called Exquisite Blood. Very cool to have, goes very hard, and also lets you play a bit of Golgari Sacrifice alongside it. Because we're in Golgari colors, we also have access to great removal like Casualties of War and Death Sprout Mortality Sphere. They're all really good. And being able to destroy non-land permanents makes me very, very happy, because it means I can take out not just your pesky artifacts and creatures, your enchantments, and your planeswalkers. I can even destroy your battles. Golgari, thinking ahead with the ability to destroy battles. Yeah, these are very fun decks. You can see there's a lot of like small life gain triggers on a lot of these cards, which will add up to Drain from Dina Soul Steeper. So thank you to Coldthulu, who is Illuminati in my chat, for sending me this deck. It's 5-color Omnath, Locus of All. I have Ramp on turn 1, and then a Sheoldred, making this an amazing hand. I also have a creature that grows whenever we gain life. I love that this is a menacing Pridemate. She's like, yes, a vampire doing college studies. I have to science the blood, and not just drink it all. Yeah, Dean Valentine warns us not to consume those samples for our own safety, but I think he's just being greedy. The blood researcher. You're funny. Oh, I'm being told this is the paper version of the deck. Alongside with Bull Sizzle, not so... Oh, you're saying that's why Binding the Old Gods isn't in your deck, is because you just forgot to click it in? That's cool. I have a Sheoldred. Sheoldred gains us life, which is good for a blood researcher, and just... Also, this is an incredible card. Sheoldred is such a good card. Straight up just, like, sits there and wins the game. Hi, Omnath. You have 1 mana. Are you killing something? Oh, no! They're actually exiling a card from their hand, Lazada plating to phase out 2 cards. Okay, I still get to gain the life. I still get the damage. Let's go with Veto. Back up Dina. Veto, similarly to Dina, drains on life gain, but actually drains equal to the amount, whereas Dina just drains 1 each time you gain life. Speaking of gaining life, love it! And I have 5 mana. And they are dead. Thanks, Vito. Love the stuff you do. Emoti, Celebrant of Bounty, looking to ramp so they can Cascade. This hand looks fine to me, so I am going to keep it. I have to make the choice here between ramping early, paying life. I am going to start with this Llanowar Waste. I know I'm going to be paying more life early. But I want to have my black source ready next turn. And this is the way that I do that. So we could go for either Vran or Blood Artist. I'm going to get Vran out here. Vran's the man. And then use Riveteer's Overlook to get another black source of mana. Also, we gain a life. Yay! It's like I never paid that life. Armored Scrap Gorger can munch things up from my graveyard. They're up to 4 mana. Time of Ice! Oh, don't tap my stuff down. They're gonna tap, and then they're gonna bounce all my things. Which, first of all, rude. Second of all, rude. Third of all, rude. Prosperous Innkeeper. Dina. Dina with the Draina. We gain a life, they lose a life, we swing for 2. Ba-bam! Who are you tapping now? Bran? Okay. These 2 will get bounced back into my hand, as well as any creatures I attack with this turn. They play a Modi, they cascade into a delighted halfling. Gosh, she's so cute. I love her. Getting out the Witch of the Moors. Because she's nasty. And now, because at my end step, I gained life this turn, my opponent needs to sacrifice a creature. I would also bring a creature back from my graveyard to my hand, but I don't have one. But if I did, it would be back in my hand. Witch of the Moors, doing even more. Primeval Titan gets them 2 lands and will cascade for a Modi. Stop exiling from my graveyard! They cascade into Elvish Mystic, more ramp. Exactly. I wish I had one in my graveyard, but I don't, because they're mean. I mean, I didn't have one in there anyway, but, like, I could have. Imagine. Do I want to drain 2 life or just 1? Primetime sure is a card. Sure is. I love how they have more than twice as many lands as me. Return of the Wild Speaker draws them 6 cards. They still have 3 mana left. This can become a 3/3, exiling from the graveyard. Topiary Stomper! It can attack and block. They definitely have 8 or more lands. Sorry, 7 or more lands. They have 8 or more. In fact, I think that was the 9th land they grabbed, and now time for 10 and 11. I think I'm gonna block with Bran. Prevent 2 damage. More importantly, drain them for some life. Oh, are you only other? It's only other creatures. My bad. My bad. Reading the card explains the card. Didn't read the card. Trying to leave open black mana. There we go. Gaining life, draining life. Getting cards from the yard. Eventually they're gonna get something with all the cards in their hand that I can't recover from. But hopefully that doesn't happen yet. Scrap Gorger munches up from the graveyard. Yum yum yum, gets some mana. Jin Gitaxis draws them cards. They do not have 7 or more cards in hand, but they have close. They're casting the big beans. Oh no, they just got a little tiny Llanowar elf off it. I continue to let you get more. Ow. Tangled Florahedron. Dang, that's cool. Blood Researcher. Gain and drain. Gain and drain. Gain and drain. You guys are doing fantastic. I'm going to sacrifice my Prosperous Innkeeper. And then attacking with these two. Rain is only once per turn. That should put them to 1. Now all I need is for one more creature to die. Just one. Or maybe we could cast a creature. Nice. Kaervek hates creatures. All of them. Yours and your opponent's. So much that it gives all of them -1/-1. And I believe this is a mono black control deck because I see a lot of kill spells, a lot of strong planeswalkers, and, well, ways to bleed out your opponent, making them discard, lose life, and sacrifice things over and over. I also see some devotion payoff like the Grey Merchant of Asphodel, and some just generally incredibly strong cards in black, like one of my favorites, Gonti, who does the crime. I love Gonti, who does the crime. Just to guess, there are no creatures in this deck that have a power of, or a toughness of 1. Because if you did, it would die. Okay, Kaervek, let's go make some enemies. Smeagol, Helpful Guide. Smeagol is all about stealing your lands. I have something I can play on 2. I have Knight of Souls Betrayal, which stacks up with Kaervek for being real rude. I don't have another land. I am still going to keep this hand and hope that I can get, well, a 3rd land. It's one of those things where, like, because we have Timurit, so Knight's Betrayal, Kaervek, I really want to keep these cards together. And in the meantime, here's Timurit. If Timurit needs to trade with Smeagol, that's what will happen. Smeagol is going to be looking to sacrifice their own creatures and be tempted by the ring. No. I don't want you to have my lands. I need my lands. Please, swamp off the top. That's a duress. I wonder what they'll hit. They're thinking about it. We have some single target removal. We have some just general drain over time. Plague, I don't know how many tokens they'll have. I don't think that that's something they're going to look at getting. Debt to the Kami because it exiles one of their creatures. That's fair. A Forsworn Paladin. This can make treasures. Nice! I got a 3rd land. I will use that for Altar of the Pantheon. And because I have nothing to do with it, and they know I have nothing to do with it, I'm just going to gain a life. Like, they know. They can see it. I should check out Mellow Mushroom in Atlanta for pizza. It's a cute name. Oh, don't destroy my altar. I need that for Kaervek. They've played all these lovely 1 toughness creatures. They could have also destroyed Timurit with that, which I think would have been really cute. Die. Go, Timurit, get him! Timurit's like, I'm so little. Hee hee. Bloodghast dies? Which means at the end step they'll be tempted by the ring, which means it will come back and die again. Oh, look at him go. So, like, good news, bad news, Smeagol, you're going to die too. They may have some removal for the enchantment, but it will have to resolve first. And now, 1 damage by 1 damage. We go. I could have also used Timrit to, like, exile Bloodghast out of their graveyard. That's probably going to be one of the things I need to do next. Davriel. Davriel can kill one of my 2 creatures or make a deal. They're going to accept an offer in condition. All right, we got to pay attention because these go by really, really fast. I'm looking. Offer, condition. Condition, offer. Offician, condition. It is. Return 2 random creature cards from your graveyard. They get perpetual +1/+1. They still die. And sacrifice 2 permanents. Yikes! That is a rough price to pay. I'm surprised I didn't sacrifice Davriel. Listen, do you want to play that? Because it will die immediately. And then I will exile it from the graveyard. And you will leave the game. Lagrella the Magpie does symmetrically exiling cards. He exiles 1 for me, 1 for them. And I am not keeping this hand. I have 1 piece of removal that I can play here, but I would like more lands. This will work. I have Timrit, some ramp, and one of my faves, Bolas's Citadel. I love paying life. You guys have watched me play with, like, black market connections, and you know I will always just be like, yeah, I'm paying 6 life. You get me a Bolas's Citadel, and I'm just going to keep on digging through my own deck. Hi, Timrit. Hi, Gallagreators. They get a Welcoming Vampire. They could have played Lagrella, but they'd rather just go ahead and get a treasure. Not swinging in there. Right now, that Gallagreators will die. Replicating Ring. I'm ramping. Always full send black market connection. See, you understand. Elvish Visionary. Another thing with 1 toughness. Are you going to buff up your Gallagreators? No, they're just making more treasure. Maybe they have a wash away. 420 graze it. Getting that Gallagreators a little bigger. Kaervek. I think that's a wash away. No, it's not. Oh, okay, that's surprising. I will swing in for 1. Our Royal Grace is like, sure. Listen, if I can attack, I like to attack. This will make their Welcoming Vampire trigger for some things it wouldn't have otherwise. So ready for the Citadel. I'm probably going for Liliana before the Citadel, though. Kaervek and the Arboreal Grazer are going to go hang out together. And I am going to remain underneath Lagrella here. We decline. The way I see it is against the Lagrella deck, I'm either holding their commander hostage, or I'm just vibing. I feel like unless I need my commander, it's fine to keep it where it is. Ooh, Liliana, who can kill a thing. Nah, I want big Liliana. Big Liliana who kills 2 things. I'm just going to make a zombie, though. Timret likes zombies. As a horde of the undead. Also, I don't think -4 would have been that bad there. I'm just kind of looking to make sure Liliana is staying alive for getting out Bolas's Citadel next turn. Okay, cool. Lagrella can now re-exile either this token to get rid of it, or Kaervek. The Grazer, by the way, also gets bigger, faster, and stronger, too. Look, it's a 1/4. It's actually like a 3/6? No, 3/5. Ah, Thorn Mammoth! Bye, Kaervek. Move my commander to the command zone, sure. Draw a card. We're gonna need to block this turn. They have enough treasure if they want to blink something again. Okay, because they have this, it looks like Liliana is going to be dead. That's fine, still going for the Citadel. Unless I, like, top deck Blood on the Snow, in which case, Blood on the Snow. Killing Liliana, dealing 2 to my face. Bolas's Citadel. It has resolved. There was a land on top. Karika's Libation, creature, since they don't have enchantments. Oh no! And immediately bricking on a land! Okay, am I dead? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 14. We're dead. Good game! Sometimes the Citadel just doesn't want you to have the delicious, delicious cards. Time Joke, or Tim Jock, sent me a Gretchen Titch Willow list. She is a 0/4 who has an activated ability that's an awful lot like Growth Spiral. And this deck is actually not running the 2 cards that would make the ability into Growth Spiral, which is Training Grounds or Biomancer's Familiar. I will urge anybody who has this deck to put those into the deck because it means that you have such a good activated ability available whenever Gretchen is on the battlefield. So, what does this deck have? Counter spells. It's a Simic Flash deck, and I'm not a big fan of this playstyle, but sure, I will play it. I will flash out creatures, and I will counter all of my opponent's cards. So let's go, and hope that we go first. Xenagos, God of Revels, and God of going really, really fast. I don't have blue mana in this hand, so we're going to throw it back and keep this hand instead. I do have an early counterspell and a disallow as well, but I don't actually have anything I can cast on, like, turn 1 or 2 here other than Gretchen. So I'll be playing Gretchen on turn 2, since I don't really need this flyer. Here, have a Gretchen. And then we have counterspell, 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 way to bring back a counterspell. Which allow do I have? This one. Hi, Luca. Which counterspell do I want to use? I will use Wizard's Retort. A null can counter Xenagos because it is an enchantment spell. So if they get another land and throw down Xenagos, no, they don't. And Legion Caryatide. I will use Mesmeric Glare. Blumang, thank you for the 37-month resub. Elvish Mystic. Oh, look at you and your ramp. Gretchen is a blocker who has this activated ability that is pretty much, if you did not use your counter spells, you now have something else you can do on your turn. Also, thank you, Blumang, for the 37-month resub. It's a way to always be able to use your extra mana. So, like, right here, I have 4 more mana, which means I can still activate Gretchen. And if you have those discount spells, which this person did not put into their deck, you can actually, like, pretty much go infinite with her, just getting more mana and more ramp. Yeah, she lets you draw more counter spells, too. Which, rude, lady. Right now, I don't have enough blue to do much. I should have foretold with the green. That would have been fine. Llanowar Loam Speaker. That's fine. And Xenagos, who we will counter. I will use... Find the villain's lair. Actually, you know what? We could do Snapcast or Annul. I'm gonna do Snapcast or Annul. It gets me another creature on the board. Now we have an Into the Royal, so we could bounce something in case we don't have the counterspell available. As I said I was going to do, I'm going to foretell this. Just because now I am holding up perfect counterspell mana, and unless they're playing a threat, they're not actually doing that much to us this turn. Okay, there's Xenagos again, and we find the villain's lair. I couldn't have done the Snappy Retort because I don't have enough blue mana. We have too much green, not enough blue. Did you have fun? If our opponent clicks yes after the end of this game, I don't know what's going on in their head. Oh, hey, Atali. Bye, Atali. Pass to attackers. They can't break through this line. And we activate Gretchen to get another card. Yeah, a third blue. That actually makes a world of difference here. And we continue to just sit here. Hell is this deck list? Hopefully our opponent will just, like, play something that stops things from being counters, even though we can just, like, put it back into their hands. It's Simic Flash. It's a lot of saying the word no. Are we having fun? It's really not my style. A Mind Stone! Ancient Copper Dragon. Yep. Activate Gretchen since we've got our leftover mana. Also Sky Turtle will let us even bring back a counterspell. Do I get to actually play something this turn? Fairy Formation. We have a bounce. We have a counter. You want me to censor something big? I wouldn't mind. I will block, block, and block. I was going to say, if it's Embercleave, that's totally fine, because we just put it back into their hand. We don't do it now, though. It's better for me to throw back, like, the Loam Speaker itself. Because if I put it back into their hand, they can re-equip it. No, sword's there, but the guy holding the sword, he disappeared. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Xenagos costs 11, since I got rid of their discount. Fish Card's Expertise draws them One card! Oh no! And we win the game. Through thorough demoralization. Bad game. Obosh, the Pre-Piercer, here to double the damage of our odd-costed spells, which in this case is a Dragon's Approach. This is a Dragon's Approach deck, which means that we are going to be discarding and casting Dragon's Approach over and over until we have a pile of them in the graveyard. And then we exile them to get a dragon. Which dragon? Well, depending on what we need to do, we could get 4 damage to the face-off Tyrant of Kaervek's Blade-Winged Arisen to bring back another dead dragon, Ancient Copper Dragon, if we're looking to make treasures. Tyrant of the Peaks, who does deal double damage thanks to Obosh, Goldspan, who swings and makes treasures, Skithathrix for poison, or Maniform Hellkite to make more smaller dragons. There's a lot of good dragons out there, and we have them in this deck. The hardest part, I'd say, with this deck is staying alive long enough to get the Dragon's Approaches off, or to just burn your opponent out. Obosh is good, hits for 6 damage, but only has 5 toughness, so it's about hitting face hard while you set up these approaches. Alright, Obosh, steal some damage. Twice. Tom Bombadil, 5-color sagas. I have a Wayfarer's Bauble, I have Agadeem's Awakening, a couple Dragon's Approaches, a Braid. We should be okay here, at least to get started. The hardest thing is that this is going to be coming in tapped, and I don't really want to pay 3 life to do, like, Agadeem's Awakening on 2 with the Wayfarer's Bauble, even though it would get me more mana. Oh, look, we ended up getting some anyway. I will say I am in no rush. Down the Sulphurous Springs. And I want to have Obosh out before I use the Dragon's Approaches to double their damage. They cultivate. In response, I will Bobble. I'm going to grab a mountain. They're going to grab 2 basics. Probably don't have that many basics in their deck because they're a 5-color deck. But they have their red, they have their white, and they can probably play Tom Bombadil next turn. Here's Obosh. Five mana. They could also play a saga that doubles as removal. There's a bunch of those. Eldest Reborn, Elspeth Conquers Death. There's a bunch of things that would take out Obosh here. Finding the Old Gods. Nope, looks like they're just going to draw and discard. I'm going to cast a Dragon's Approach. I'm going to swing for 3. And I'm going to hold the Abrade. I don't think I need the Abrade on the Signet. I'd rather use it to take out Tom Bombadil. Though they might wait for him until they get, how many lore counters is it? Or just, like, just something sacrificing the same turn he comes out. Since he's all trigger at the start of first main, though, like, you would play Tom Bombadil now to get the trigger off the first sacrifice. Because it's the first sacrifice of the saga each turn when they run out of chapters. Oh, Fall of Lord Conda. That will be exiling Obosh. Even though these are even costed, I still want some presence on the battlefield. Here is the Silken Zon being channeled, discarded to make 2 1/1s with haste. Obosh is... Oh yeah, that's true, because this is even. Doesn't get doubled. That's fine. I still don't think I need to hit the Signet. It's not odd. It's not unusual. I think I'll go for Lathless over Obosh here. Just because she's a really good dragon. Boop, boop. We can also pump her up in the air, giving her up to 1, 2, 3 extra damage. She is even costed, though, which means Obosh won't be doubling her damage. Dramatic Orrery. That gives them 6 mana remaining this turn. The Crow in War. Are you taking my Lathliss? My girl! Goldberry lets them remove counters from these. Bitter Reunion. I'm going to discard Dragon's Approach. Find 2 more Dragon's Approaches. Great. I am going to deal 3 damage to Goldberry because I don't want them to be able to rewind any of these sagas. And even though it's not getting the boost, I am going to use one of the Dragon's Approaches here. This puts me up to a total of 1, 2, 3 Dragon's Approaches in the graveyard, a 4th in hand, and I do need to cast the 5th in order to get the free dragon. Dragons. Hi, Tom Bombadil. These little guys will have to attack next turn. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Okay, it's back in my hand. You guys are talking about control and commander. Yeah, typically the biggest kind of control and commander is taxing things, making it so nobody can attack you, or it's too expensive to cast spells, or anybody casting a spell gets you a ton of benefits. Give me my Lathliss back. Wait, this might be lethal. Because we have some hasty dragons. Alright, who do we want? Oh, wait! Or we could do Tyrant for just 4 damage to face. That's spicy, I like it. Bam. Perfect. Don't even need to attack. Sauron the Dark Lord amasses when we cast spells and is really hard to take off the battlefield. I'm going to keep this hand. We do have a way to discard our Dragon's Approaches to find more Dragon's Approaches. Good morning. Listen, 2 p.m. is still morning. Time is fake. Aw, Birthday Escape. They're getting tempted by the ring. They can also be tempted by the ring by hitting me with an orc. Okay, with an army. It's with the orc. Smork with orc. Use our Tormenting Voice. Dropping a Dragon's Approach. This does kind of show, like, hey, I'm a Dragon's Approach deck. And that's fine. They're allowed to know that I'm a Dragon's Approach deck. Speaking of, Dragon's Approach. There are now 2 in the graveyard. Solemn Simulacrum. Going to ramp them up. I've got some really good dragons in hand that I'd probably be casting instead of Obosh. We Scry. I could take that, sure. And we Dragon's Approach. Next turn I'm playing Junji, probably followed by Obosh to double Junji's damage. I take 2. Behold a dragon, and they amass. They're killing Junji, which gives me either casting something from graveyard or discard. There's no creatures in graveyard, non-dragons specifically. So yeah, they just lose some life. Dragon into trash. We now have our 4th and 5th for the Dragon's Approaches. Ramdima, thank you for the 17-month resub. If I play Obosh, I have the potential to win the next turn. Ooh, I think that's not an extra turn spell, kill spell, or counter spell, though. The answer is no. It's one of those for sure. Enjoy your amass. Give me the dragon! I'm going to get Bladewing the Risen. Because Bladewing the Risen brings me Genji! 2 blockers! Yeah, I felt if I went for, like, 1 hasty dragon, yes, I would be dealing more damage this turn, but I wouldn't be killing them. Oh my god, it wasn't actually a kill spell, but it was removal. They put it back into my hand. Oracle of the Alpha can block in the air. Also puts the Power 9 into their library. I'm gonna take 10 damage here. But I'm not happy about it. They solved the equation. They are tutoring for Time Walk because they got it in their deck from Oracle, and we lose the game. So we're going to say GG. I'll let them find their Time Walk, cast their Time Walk, finish me off. It shouldn't be that far off. Is there a good card in mono red that deals with artifacts like the ring? There is a mono red artifact exiling spell. It is in the Lord of the Rings set. It can also deal damage. I want to say like 2 damage to something. Cast it into the fire. Yeah, cast into the fire sounds right. Smile sent me Purphoros. Bronze blooded. This is this sneak attack Purphoros, giving all your creatures haste and allowing you to put red creature cards or artifacts into play. You have to do it, you know, from your hand, but that's pretty good. If you have enter the battlefield abilities, big aggressive creatures, for 3 mana only, you can put them into play, but they will be sacrificed at the end of turn. Well, you can use those to block, you could use those to attack, or you could just use those to kick your opponent's butt, because there's some really strong, just big aggressive red stuff, like you can see right here. Because our commander is a god, it's not always a creature, but it is indestructible. An enchantment that's going to sit on the battlefield, giving our creatures haste, and letting us sneak attack things in. Alright, Purphoros, let's see what sneaky goods we can get in here. We are getting sneak attack with Wrath of Eldraine. I keep calling it that. Wilds of Eldraine. Davriel Soul Broker. Davriel Soul Broker is the one that has deals. Wheelin' and dealin'. Getting offers and conditions. Also can perpetually give things -3/-3, and can protect itself with this +1 ability that oftentimes I like forget exists. I'm gonna keep this hand because it does have something that gets pointy and annoying. The Sin Prodder could give me a way to attack Davriel, and it has a tiny bit of ramp. We also have the ability to discard our cards to turn them into lands. Chandra's here too. She's incredible. It's a good card. Illuminati, it's been fun getting to play so many different decks. It's definitely hard to, like, switch gears between decks this quickly, but I don't think that that's the worst. I don't have an instant or sorcery in this hand, so I'm going to play Chandra. And kill Evolved Sleeper. Chandra's able to get me 2 mana next turn, giving me enough to actually, I think, just cast Meteor Golem? Right? Yeah. Meteor Golem. Out of here. You wish you could pay life. You wish you could pay the 6. You can't pay the 6. You can't handle the 6. Ravenous Chupacabra comes into play and kills my Meteor Golem. We need to sneak attack, and we can just ramp. 3 damage to their face, 3 damage to the Chupacabra, and we have a 6/6 on the battlefield. I wonder if there's an Inferno Titan in this deck, because this is kind of like the baby Inferno Titan. Oh, cool, we win. Again, I'm up against Davriel's Soul Broker. Okay, matchmaking algorithm, you do you. This time I have ramp in the means of Magda. You can also find me a dragon or a big artifact if I have 5 treasures to sacrifice, which very often I won't, because they'll kill her, because she's good. Okay, no, this just makes me uncomfortable. I don't like that this game is exactly the same to start is the last one, except they're going first. That's messed up, right? Yes, but the land art is different. Yes, but the land art is different. It's the same start. Deja vu. This can become a 3/3. I'm actually surprised they're attacking with it. They probably have removal for Magda. Hi, Nashi. Nashi lets them steal the top spell of a deck. Or play a land. You have to pay life, though, for spells. Wow, that was really quick selection.
This little candle is gonna set your world on fire. Give a toast? I'd love to.
Attack the Chandra, make a treasure, use the treasure for Solemn Simulacrum. Solemn Simulacrum gets me a land. Turning our treasure into land. Four mana gets them Davriel. Assume they'll just -2. No, they're actually going to nuke the Solemn Simulacrum, so I can't block. I draw a card. Thank you for the Frostbite. Now she can cast either Infernal Grasp or Guardian Idol. They might go for the ramp, but I think they'll hit Magda just so I can't attack them. I'm going to take out the Chandra. They're still on 3 lands. Play Rekindling Phoenix, which has to be killed twice. If they hit it with the -3, it will come back and just die.
Oh, you don't want to mess with me.
I will offer a trade here. If they don't have a second piece of removal, the bird will return. Bloodchief's Thirst. There's their second piece of removal. Linked Sleeve Siphoner, when attacks in, will eventually be able to draw. Peeg. Purphoros. Gotta get that haste rolling. Also, the pig's awesome, but it's better if I have other creatures in hand, which I currently don't. Ilharg also puts things into play. Okay, now they're doing offers and conditions. Let's see what they got. Creatures they control are smaller. Whenever they draw a card, they gain 2 life. 2 emblems. And they will draw more cards. Yeah, they didn't get another land yet. Great. Ilharg. Ilharg will have haste. Invasion of Tarkir. Take out the Glint Sleeve Siphoner. I'm going to attack the Invasion of Tarkir, since this will get me another creature, a dragon. Do I have any thoughts on emblem interaction? I think it's cool that you can't interact with them. But I don't think things should give you emblems like Davriel does. I am flooding, and they do not have lands. A sudden edict! I'm going to drop Ilharg, because Ilharg will shuffle itself back into my deck. Overall, they deal the same amount of damage, because this attacks and deals 2 damage to something. Oh, I love the orb! I'll ping this. Ping. Bang. If they mill it, they're losing 6. Sorry, 5, right. It's a 6/6, but it only costs 5. I love to ponder an orb. Yeah, with the Phyrexian Arena, they lose a life, then they gain 2. Net life gain. And a full hand. And an orb! Chat, stop pondering my orb. That'll work. Lakaseth. That's 2 dragons attacking in. We're gonna go 4, 3, yep. 2, 2. Yeah, I'll pay life. Easy peasy. And it's a little bit more than lethal. GG! Thank you all so much for watching this Brawl Stars Variety Hour. This is actually the last of them because I ran out of time. Instead of doing this for 1 day, I ended up doing it for 4 whole days, playing through around 75 different decks. If you didn't see yours in a video, it may have been played on stream, or you may have submitted it after my stream started on Thursday, in which case, well, I wasn't going to be playing those anyway. I tried to play as many of them as I could, but I could not get through all of them because there were just so many great decks. Thank you all so much for sending me your deck list. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, helping me grow as a creator. And also, thank you to, hanging out with me. A lot of folks showed up into the chat to watch their decks get played. That was really fun. And it was a really cool way to kind of bring together both my YouTube and Twitch community to hang out and play some decks. Thank you so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.